investigation network, a rare insight into the death penalty system, seen through the life and death struggle over one man, Napoleon Beazley.
I was 17 when I was incarcerated.
Beazley hollered, "Shoot the bitch."
18 when I was dragged.
I was wondering how it would feel to die.
18 when I got death row.
At 6 o'clock, he'll be removed from the cell, be brought in here, be surrounded by the 5 correctional officers.
It ain't gonna help fill no hole in nobody's heart for Napoleon to be killed. All he's gonna do is create some more holes in our hearts, you know.
We're often referred to as the execution capital of the country.
Moratorium now!
Nobody ever mentions the victims.
Society should not dispose of its children in the way that it has in his case.
Huntsville, Texas is a prosperous city of 35,000 people. It's a quiet town in the plains of eastern Texas. Nonetheless, it has attracted worldwide attention because Huntsville is home to the Texas Death Chamber, which has executed more people in the past 20 years than any other in the United States.
Now, these are items that are illegally made inside the prison.
And it even has a prison museum on the historic town square.
These are death row commemorative hats. These hats are probably one of our better sellers. That along with some of the inmate-made crafts that we sell here. We have some inmate-made koozies, inmate-made checkbook wallet cover. One of our more popular items that we sell here are the inmate-made keychains.
Is this for Robbie?
But the biggest attraction is in the back.
Little City Old Sparky exhibit. From 1924 to 1964, 361 condemned inmates have sat inside this chair. The inmate was strapped down inside the chair, and they would send 2,000 volts of alternating current through the inmate's body. And then they would reduce the voltage to 200 volts because the inmate would catch on fire.
Down the road from the museum is the Texas State Prison Walls Unit, the death house. The landscape here could be mistaken for any suburban backyard. For these inmates, this morning's work detail is grooming the grounds, preparing the prison for another inmate's death. Napoleon Beazley is that inmate. He committed a murder at age 17, and he's now on the brink of the ultimate punishment, death by lethal injection.
I'm struck by some of the beautiful gardens you have around here. Is that sort of done deliberately?
No, all of our units where we are in the state are landscaped, and we take real pride in the way the units look.
Larry Fitzgerald takes pride in much of what this facility does. He is the Public Information Officer for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And with the Beazley execution just 30 hours away, he walks us through.
We're now in what you guys call the death house.
This is the death house.
So, what are these tables for? They almost look, I'm sorry to say, like picnic tables. They've got napkins on them.
We bring back here snack food, finger food. It's back here during the day of the execution. That's not
snack food.
Well, the inmate can eat it. We have coffee, tea, punch, that type of thing. And it's for the inmate, if the inmate wants it. It's for the officers who are back here if they want it. It's just, kind of a party tray type thing. It's a bad word. It's a bad word to use, but it's some of the stuff that you would find, deviled eggs, that type of thing.
Okay.
Generally speaking, the offenders have not had deviled eggs for a long time, and they really do enjoy the deviled eggs.
Really?
Prison chaplain Jim Beazleys' job is to give spiritual support to inmates on the last day of their lives.
How do you bond with him in those final hours? I mean, why How should he feel comfortable with somebody he may not have seen before?
Well, that's a good question. What I usually do, like this afternoon, I will go over and I will visit with him. I always tell him I'm going to let him see my ugly face before he comes over here. I try to get to know him a little bit. I try to get to know his personality, what he's feeling, because coming over here is quite traumatic.
Beazleys has seen more than 150 people put to death, while Fitzgerald says he's witnessed at least 180 executions.
So we're entering now.
This is the death chamber.
Oh, it's shocking to see for me, for the first time.
They explain what has now become a routine with a studied air of normalcy.
At 6 o'clock, he'll be removed from the cell, be brought in here, get up on the gurney. Once he's on the gurney, 5 officers are each assigned a position around this gurney.
And those 5 people are what you call the tie-down people.
Tie-down team, and they will strap his arms down, they'll strap his ankles down, and then they'll put the restraints across the rest of his body. The IV team will come in, they'll insert 2 IVs, one in his left arm, one in his right arm. The warden will then give the signal, and the chemicals start flowing.
Does he talk to you when the IV's going in?
Yes, I make it a point to talk to them real strong during that one time.
I mean, we've had fellows who laid here and told lawyer jokes. The whole time somebody was sticking needles in.
How long more do you think he'll do this for?
I don't know. I don't look at it as a job. I look at it as a ministry, and that's the reason I'm here. So, you know, whenever, as long as the opportunity allows, I'll be here.
You don't think at some point it'll wear on your soul?
It has taken its toll. Yes, it has.
And for you? How do you look at it?
I look at it as a service to the people of Texas. I'm actually performing a service.
Do you know how cold that will sound to a lot of people?
No, I think that it's not meant to sound cold by any stretch of the imagination. No, I think I view my job as really being an extension of what the courts have ordered.
150 miles away in the state capital, Attorney Walter Long is desperately trying to undo the execution of Napoleon Beazley.
We're just running out the door to file something for an execution that we have tomorrow.
With the help of his assistant, Stephanie O'Connor, he's filing appeal after appeal, hoping that something will stop the clock, hoping to save Beazley's life.
Cutting it close, isn't it? We're fixing to go file the state habeas petition in the Court of Criminal Appeals, which is the highest court with criminal jurisdiction in Texas. First time I've filed something and wearing 2 T-shirts. Can you file these? Napoleon Beazley's case has an execution date tomorrow. So it's Walter Long.
For Walter Long, this is painfully familiar terrain. He specializes in last-minute death row appeals. In Texas, that usually means lost causes. And yet Long hasn't given up on Beazley because, he says, he has solid grounds for appeal, namely that Beazley was 17, a minor, when he committed the crime.
I still feel a measure of hope for this case. I really do. I think that the issues that we raised at the Supreme Court are very, very strong. And Napoleon thinks I'm crazy.
One of Long and Beazley's last hopes lay with the U.S. Supreme Court.
The defeat for the death row inmate, Napoleon Beazley.
But just this morning, it denied the appeal.
3 justices abstained as High Court declines to halt Texas execution. So much for that.
Back in Huntsville, that means the state is one step closer to carrying out its 12th execution of the year.
This is time that we spend now kind of making our plans for the execution.